that angst that JD Vance talks about in Hillbilly Elegy, none of my hillbilly cousins went to Yale, and none of them went on to be venture capitalists or whatever. It's not who people really are.
All right, it's finally happened. People have been clamoring for it, asking me in the comments on Twitter, who is your pick, David, for Kamala Harris' running mate? Well, I have come to a decision for Kamala Harris. I'll talk to her later about this. But I have decided that it should be Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. So in this video, I'm going to show you several clips as to showing you why Tim Walz is so impressive, including a clip that apparently pissed Donald Trump off because this is the only running mate so far that he has publicly flipped out over because of recent appearance he made on Fox News. But I want to be clear about who Tim Walz is. So he is a Army veteran. He's 60 years old, same age as Kamala Harris, a retired high school teacher, and he is now the governor of Minnesota and has accomplished a lot with just a one-seat majority. So I'm going to get to that breakdown in a minute as well. This is somebody that I think has the ability to speak to everyone. As you're going to see, he has a lot of charisma. He comes off as a normal guy. He doesn't seem too too buttoned up. He's somebody that can actually campaign and do so in a way that reaches across to all sorts of voters. And considering he represents, Minnesota, we're talking a state with big cities and a lot of rural small towns, I think he has the ability to really communicate a message effectively. So let me start with this clip from Fox News. This is the one that apparently pissed Donald Trump off, and then I'll get to Trump's reaction to it.
There is certain irony to saying that Donald Trump is bad for democracy, when it looks pretty obvious that the Democratic Party leapfrogged the entire democratic system, and they did it in about 24 hours publicly.
Look, the process has always been there. I welcome, if Sean or anybody wants to become a DNC delegate, you're welcome to. But what I know is Democrats are ready to move when the situation warrants it. Look, it doesn't matter convictions. It doesn't matter failed policies. Republican Party stuck with Donald Trump. He's yours. You've got him. Welcome to it. Democratic Party can make our decisions. We pick our nominee. Look, if you don't like it, don't vote for it in November. But I think the American public are going to see they knew that this administration was delivering. We knew that as far as economic numbers placed against global numbers, America's in a far better shape. And we also know that a foreign policy that respects our alliances, not cozying up to dictators like Putin and Orban, is not the way to go.
The Republican Party stuck with Donald Trump. He's yours, you got him. This must be what pissed Donald Trump off, in addition to just the general appearance that Tim Walz made, the impressive appearance he made on Fox News, arguing for Kamala Harris, because this is the response from Trump on Truth Social. Why did Fox News put up Tim Walz, governor of Minnesota, where I am leading? They make me fight battles that I shouldn't have to fight. You're leading there, are you? Even more of a reason to potentially pick Tim Walz as the running mate. This idea that Republicans are arguing that Democrats are not being democratic because Biden decided to withdraw and endorse Kamala Harris when Donald Trump tried to steal an election and still denies that he lost an election. I mean, who do you think you're fooling? This is completely insane. The entire party is behind Kamala Harris. She's the obvious choice this late in the game. The primary's over. She's the obvious choice as the VP to take the mantle and run with it. It's so bizarre that they're trying to make this democracy argument when their guy still denies he lost. Now, this is the incredible, so Kyle Klinsky here broke this down, the incredible accomplishments that Tim Walz has made with just a one-seat majority. Universal free school meals, legal weed, carbon-free electricity by 2040, tax rebates for the working class up to $1,300, 12 weeks paid family leave, 12 weeks paid sick leave, banned conversion therapy, red flag laws for guns, universal background checks, automatic voter registration, free public college under 80K, ban on forever chemicals, $2.2 billion increase in K-12 school funding, and sectoral bargaining for nursing home workers. This man is awesome. All of this with a one-seat majority. This is the guy. This is the guy. Because it isn't even just about the charisma, it's about his priorities. This is going to be somebody who's going to be in Kamala Harris's ear when it comes to, what her focus should be when she's president, going to be a guy that I imagine she'll go to for advice. This is the guy you want there. Now, let me get to this great appearance. This was on Morning Joe on MSNBC. Watch how Tim Walz here forms his argument.
What have you learned in bringing together the rural and the urban voters in your state that you think the Harris campaign can use to really engage some parts of America that have really turned quite red, particularly the rural parts of the country? What should they take from the Minnesota story?
Yeah, the Midwest is the key. And look, I represented Joe was talking about Steve King. My district bordered Steve King's, and on the other side was Michelle Bachmann. What I know is that people like JD Vance know nothing about small-town America. My town had 400 people in it, 24 kids in my graduating class, 12 were cousins, and he gets it all wrong. It's not about hate. It's not about collapsing in. The golden rule there is mind your own damn business. Their policies are what destroyed rural America. They've divided us. They're in our exam rooms. They're telling us what books to read, and I think what Kamala Harris knows is bringing people together around the shared values, strong public schools, strong labor unions that create the middle class, health care that's affordable and accessible. Those are the things. You look what they're talking about. They went right to division. They did not give us a plan on health care. Donald Trump talked about infrastructure. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris built bridges, built roads. So I think this is going back to the bread and butter, getting away from this division. We do not like what has happened where we can't even go to Thanksgiving dinner with our uncle because you end up in some weird fight that is unnecessary. and I think bringing back people together, well, it's true. These guys are just weird. And it's, you know, they're running for He-Man Women Haters Club or something. That's what they go at. That's not what people are interested in. And there is angst because robber barons like JD Vance and Donald Trump gutted the Midwest, told us we didn't do that. They talk about private schools. Where in the heck are you going to find a private school in a town of 400? Those are public schools. Those are great teachers that are out there making a difference and gave us an opportunity to succeed. That angst that JD Vance talks about in Hillbilly Elegy, none of my hillbilly cousins went to Yale, and none of them went on to be venture capitalists or whatever. It's not who people really are.
This is the perfect way to message this campaign. The Republican Party, JD Vance and Trump, are going to, especially with JD Vance as the running mate, going to try to pretend that they care about, you know, working class voters. They care about rural America. The perfect line there. None of my hillbilly cousins went to Yale. That's a direct shot at JD Vance, calling out the obvious destruction that conservative policy created in these small towns, in the country broadly. But when it applies to speaking to these sorts of voters, these guys like JD Vance are completely full of shit. This is the kind of guy you need to go up against someone like JD Vance. Also, the other element of this that'll come up in the next clip as well is calling them weird, because they are really weird. And I think this is just to treat these people as like these weirdo freak outcasts. Like, this is a great example. This is JD Vance on the campaign trails a couple days ago. Just listen to this.
It is the weirdest thing to me. Democrats say that it is racist to believe, well, they say it's racist to do anything. I had a Diet Mountain Dew yesterday and one today. I'm sure they're going to call that racist too, but it's good. I love you guys. But
these guys are weird. What the hell? Just how did Trump manage to pick somebody with less charisma than Mike Pence? That quite a feat. So I got another example of JD Vance's weirdness, but I want to show you. This is another appearance that Tim Walz made.
I'll tell you that I believe soon-to-be President Harris will win older white folks like me, like my family, because it's a message that matters to us. She's talking that we matter, that our schools matter, that our jobs matter, that our environment matters, those freedoms. These are weird people on the other side. They want to take books away. They want to be in your exam room. That's what it comes down to. And don't, get sugarcoating this. These are weird ideas. Listen to them speak. Listen to how they talk about things. Listen to how your previous guests were right. Like you said, they've told them that they shouldn't talk about race. They can't help it It is built into their DNA because there is no plan. There's no health care plan. There's no health care plan. There's nothing to do on this. They want to take away our alliances and leave Russia to do whatever they want. Look, they are bad on foreign policy. They are bad on the environment. They certainly have no health care plan. And they keep talking about the middle class that, as I said, a robber baron real estate guy and a venture capitalist trying to tell us they understand who we are. They don't know who we are.
Perfect framing. Even if he is not the choice, and again, I hope he is the choice, but even if he isn't, this has to be at least part of the message, part of the attack on Trump and JD Vance. This robber baron and this venture capitalist. Like the idea that these guys care at all about people. JD Vance, somebody who it was only picked because of his connection to money, his connection to Peter Thiel, to tech oligarchs. That's why JD Vance was picked as the VP, as the running mate choice for Trump. So this is just a fantastic way to message the Kamala Harris campaign and really show this clear divide between the two. And when you have someone like Walz who has the record as a governor to back it up in terms of what he's accomplished, it really showcases that it isn't just about talk for him; it's also about the action. Now, I got some more. Just JD Vance here. This was a couple of years ago, but like this is the kind of message that these clouds are delivering. This goes to the calling them weird.
We're effectively run in this country via the Democrats, via our corporate oligarchs, by a bunch of childless cat ladies who are miserable at their own lives and the choices that they've made, and so they want to make the rest of the country miserable too. And it's just a basic fact. You look at Kamala Harris, Pete Buttigieg, AOC, the entire future of the Democrats is controlled by people without children. And how does it make any sense that we've turned our country over to people who don't really have a direct stake in it? Saying
this is insane. Kamala Harris has stepchildren. Pete Buttigieg and his husband, they have children. AOC is too young. But because it isn't, in his mind, the traditional family, these two people came together when they were 19 years old and they got married and they had children, then to him, he's acting like, oh, these aren't normal people, not like me and my venture capitalist life. Like, it's not even just phony, it's also disgusting. Like, at least attempt to have an authentic message here. Now, thankfully, people are seeing through him. So, JD, this is incredible. I'm just going to play the beginning of this.
Negative net territory. Look at that. -6 points. I will tell you, Aaron, I have gone all the way back since 1980. He is the first guy, after immediately following a convention, a VP pick, who actually had a net negative favorable rating. That is underwater. The average since 2000 is +19 points. JD Vance making history in the completely wrong way.
I mean, it's amazing. +19. And I know people talk VPs don't usually matter, but they're usually at least
they're
not
pretty
a negative.
popular. Usually they're popular. In this case, he's dragging Trump down.
All right. And then
that is incredible. That is, first of all, I got to acknowledge 1980 is a weird way to say 1980. But apart from Harry Enton there. JD Vance, underwater at -6. This gives me hope for humanity, that people can see through his bullshit. Good. Now, this gets to, the other part that Walz mentioned there is that this obsession the right is having with Kamala Harris and race. They keep calling her the DEI vice president, which is insane. Here's another congressman saying the same thing. Democrats feel they must stick with VP Harris because of her ethnic background. Maybe it's because she's the vice president. And, of course, the president is going to endorse the VP that he chose. Otherwise, it would be incredibly odd if he didn't. Like, this shows me that they have nothing on Harris. And I've watched this stuff over the past few days. In terms of a right-wing attack on Kamala Harris, they have nothing. They have her laughing. They have a picture of her with Montel Williams when they were dating. That's apparently offensive for some reason. Like, they don't have, and they have these racist attacks. They're racist and sexist attacks is all they have. I have not seen an actual critique that will hurt Kamala Harris, because again, all these sorts of attacks on her that they're using right now is just speaking to the racist Trump base. You're not expanding out, and if anything, you're shutting people off and activating them to want to come out and vote against your weird racist garbage. And then this shit went so far that even House GOP leaders had to urge their members stop making race comments. Another way to say that is just racist comments. Race comments is an odd phrase. Stop making racist comments about Harris. Like, this is how crazy these people are. So, and I showed this already. I think Tim Walz should be the pick. Now, because I think that is probably not going to happen. He's too good of a pick. They might act in the traditional, political sense where they're thinking, oh, Kamala Harris is more left leaning than Joe Biden, or is a more left leaning in their minds. I'm not saying she is, but I think she's center moderate. But they'll think, oh, she's more left leaning, so we got to pick someone on the right to balance her out. Someone like Mark Kelly, who is good and I think solid in many ways. A former astronaut. It's kind of cool to have as your vice president. But he was against the PRO Act. He's at least slightly anti-labor. Or you have someone like Josh Shapiro, who I think gives great speeches, but he made some really terrible comments about pro-Palestinian activists. So, which is going to hurt the exact communities that Harris needs in terms of young people, marginalized communities, that Harris needs to win, that Biden was losing because of his stance on Israel. So I think the Harris campaign needs to be careful about that stuff. Especially, you don't want somebody who comes off as anti-labor. You don't want someone who comes off as anti-Palestinian. There needs to be someone who can deliver the message with real charisma and has the ability to really, showcase that this is somebody who could lead if they had to. I think Tim Walz is a great choice. So that's my pick. I know Andy Bashir is another one that people think is solid. I think he'd probably be a solid choice too. The issue with him, I don't think he has, his charisma isn't where Tim Walz is, in my opinion. That said, regardless of who is picked, as long as it isn't someone like, I don't know, Joe Manchin or John Fetterman, then it's going to be, I think, pretty easy to make the argument or make the case against Trump and JD Vance. But I do hope it is Tim Walz.